Okay. So, because I'm so tired of everybody not reading and taking the media's word or social media's word for everything that you hear instead of really taking the time to sit back and read on your own and figure out, what's really going on. Because all I can say is Project 25, Agenda 47, whichever one you choose. They're almost one in the same. They do have a lot of similarities, but they have a lot of differences. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party they nothing to me but Bloods and Crips, and that's the only way I can put that. So, with that being said, let's just cut a lot of chit chat about what Project 2025 really is. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's Trump, 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 Trump." But in reality, this man has told y'all several times that he has absolutely nothing to do with Project 2025. What he also said was that he knew those people. He worked cool with the people, the conservatives, and he has worked with them. He has gotten money from them. You know, during his presidency, that's just how this game works. So, with that being said, this is Project 2025, all 922 pages. And I believe I said that Trump's name comes up 312 times. So, let's see. Okay, so um it's still calculating. But I know it comes up 213 times. Or excuse me, 312 times. My bad. So yeah, the majority of what you're seeing when it comes to his name is it's giving you the people that worked during his transition, or maybe the people who have worked in his presidency, in his administration, whatever you want to call it. Also, there's a lot. His name also appears a lot because of the fact that he was a president and he did have a lot of executive orders that went through as any other president. So it's a lot in here, and it's worth the read. I've read specifically 402 pages, and I kind of refuse to read anymore. So as we see, here's Trump's name. It is in green right now because I have searched his name, and we're going to see what all is going on in here. Let me see here. Jonathan Berry is states who was a managing partner. He previously served as chief counsel for the Trump transition. So that's one thing we know. This guy, Adam, he served as acting assistant secretary of commerce and deputy associate attorney general at the Justice Department during the Trump administration. Ken, from 2019 through the end of the Trump administration. Now, these people I'm reading are all people who have something to do. These are all people who had a part in 2025. Excuse me. As you see that it says authors. AUTHORS. I am reading the authors of this conservative project. Rick, served as deputy chief of staff for President Donald Trump. Also, you see his name again. He was the director of the 2016 presidential-elect Donald Trump transition team. So that right there, that's already 4. Let's see, we're still in author, so Rick Dearborn. So let's see if we can get out of the author section because we know who are the authors are. They're obviously somebody who has worked with Trump or his administration and team at some point. All right, now let me see. We're still in authors. I thought it said editors. Executive Office of the President of the United States. Let's see. Building on a MIAO, and I will highlight that. On the example and work of the Trump administration, President Biden established this office to centralize, carry out, and further develop the federal government's Buy America and other Made in America commitments. So we know, again, that's just something, an example, Trump administration and what Biden did. This has nothing to do with Trump, with what Trump is trying to do. Let's see. The next president should also reinstate many executive orders signed by President Trump that were designed to make the regulatory process more just, efficient, and transparent. That has nothing to do with what he wants to do in 2025. Let's see. As a result of the president's direction and vice president's leadership, the NSPC under the Trump administration was able to coordinate a wide range of space policy reviews. Nothing to do with what he is going to do or wants to do. During the Trump administration, if a topic was purely military, such as standing up the U.S. Space Command, the NSC took the lead. You hear that? During the Trump and Biden administration, there has been a bipartisan focus. Let's go down a little more. IOTF, which is the industries of the future. Under President Trump, IOTF priorities were artificial intelligence, quantum, information science, advanced communications, 5G, advanced manufacturing, and biotechnology. I can tell you on the top of my head, for a person who has read Circa 2025, which was released a month before 9/11, and tells all of these exact plans that I am already reading. So these presidents, they have to go by the book that was already set. Now they may have different beliefs because that's what you do to stir up another side. Again, we talking blood versus Crips here. Bloods and Crips mainly have the exact same agenda. It's just, hey, we don't like you. Hey, Blood, we don't like you. Hey, same thing. Now we come down here. This is, I believe this was like some end notes. Yeah, some end notes for the executive office of the President of the United States. That section, you'll see Trump's name in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as I can see here. And all of these are basically stating, and I'll highlight one. President Donald Trump, Executive Order 13891, promoting the rule of law through improved agency guidance documents. October 9, 2019, in the Federal Registrar, Volume 84, number 199. Now, all this is telling you of all the executive orders that came under Trump. This has nothing to do with what he's going to do or wants to do in 2025. No more executive orders from Donald Trump reviving the National Space Council in June 30th, 2017. Federal Registrar, Volume 82, point number 129. I mean, let me see. I want to go down pretty far. Let's see. Reductions in force. I see Donald Trump's name. President Bill Clinton and Barack Obama began their terms and did Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump by mandating a freeze on the hiring of new federal employees. But these efforts did not lead to permanent and substantial reductions in number of non-defense employees. So first, it is a challenge to know which workers to cut. As mentioned here, there are 2 million federal employees, but since budgets have exploded, so has the total number of personnel, with nearly 10 times more federal contractors than federal employees. Excuse me. That has nothing to do, again, with something that he wants to do. Let's see, simply reducing numbers can actually increase costs. OMB instructions following President Trump's employment freeze told agencies to consider buyout programs, encouraging early retirements in order to shift costs from current budgets in agency. That sounds good to me. We are still in the central personnel agencies, which is managing the bureaucracy. I see his name again. The House of Representatives during the Trump years to enact, or excuse me, let me back that up. Despite several attempts in the House of Representatives during the Trump years to enact legislation that would modestly increase the weight given to performance of time of service, overtime of service. So again, um, I'm not sure where you guys are getting all this nonsense. Let's see. I see his name again. The Trump administration proposed some possible consolidations, but these were not received favorably in Congress. Whose approval is necessary for most such proposals? So that tells you once again, even as a president, it doesn't matter who the president is, whatever it is they want to do has to be approved by Congress. I think we all know that. And if you don't know that and you're sitting here getting mad at all this president doing this, all this president, you got to understand, regardless of what a president wants to do, it has to be approved by Congress. Either way it goes. The rules is already written. Let me see here. Let me get out of the central personnel agencies. Let's take this down some. I see some end notes. End notes with more executive orders. Oh, we're in the Department of Defense. I see his name. Let's see. Led to the single largest DoD structural change since the Goldwater-Nichols Act of 1986, and was organized effectively during President Donald Trump's administration. This was the Department of Defense Research, Development, Test, and Evaluation, which they acronym in RDT&E. Let's see what else we got. Mandate for leadership, the conservative promise. We see Trump's name here. Expand defensive cyber effects. Operations authorized by President Trump's classified national security presidential memorandum 13, United States cyber operations policy. Yeah, I'm not seeing the bad thing. Develop the Sea Launch Cruise Missile Nuclear, SELM. In 2018, the Trump administration proposed restoring the SLCM in to help fill a growing gap in the U.S. So again, I'm not getting it. See, Department of Homeland Security, the regulatory agenda should include the immediate submission of notices of proposed rulemaking for the Trump administration's public charge rule, including aspects from its original notice of proposed rulemaking, temporary work visa reform, employment authorization reform rules, asylum bars rules, and a third country transit rule. I mean, come on, y'all. Strengthening bilateral and multilateral, immigration focused agreements. Let's go down to Trump's name, which will be this first sentence. I hate saying this. Restoration of both domestic security and the integrity of the U.S. immigration system should start with rapid reactivation of several key initiatives in effect at the conclusion of the Trump administration. All right, where we getting to the bad stuff uh, that he's doing specifically or wants to do. Let's see, Department of State. We see his name. First, the U.S. must prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear technology and delivery capabilities and more broadly block Iranian ambitions. This means, inter alia, reinstituting and expanding Trump's administration's sanctions. Second, the next administration should build on the Trump administration's diplomatic successes by encouraging other Arab states, including Saudi Arabia, to enter Abraham Accords. I mean, I'm just kind of confused. I want to go down some more. Let's take this down. Preventing the abuse of intelligence for partisan purposes. let's see. We see his name. This is page 212. In particular, the IC must restore confidence in its political neutrality, excuse me, to rectify the damage done by the actions of former IC leaders and the personnel regarding the claims of Trump-Russia collusion following the 2016 election and the suppression of Hunter Biden. Let me see what section. Intelligence community. Okay. How about I just keep going down? Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA. Let's see. When seeking surveillance of Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, were you seeing something that's just off the wall? Let's see. A mandate for the Trump administration faced an institution marred by bureaucratic inertia, programmatic incoherence, wasteful spending, and dependence on huge awards to a self-serving and politicized aid industrial complex of United Nations agencies. Under the Trump administration, USAID focused on ending the need for aid for foreign aid by placing countries onto a journey. I mean, why could we keep up with that? Why? We're still in there, so this is under USAID. Let's see, Agency for International Development. Page 272, Bureau for Democracy, Development, and Innovation. A key outcome of transformation of USAID undertaken during the Trump administration. The Bureau for Democracy, Development, and Innovation is the home for most of the agency's non-health, non-humanitarian funding. So, yeah, it's really tripping. Let's see where we at now. Address the abuse of CCC, discretionary authority, which is the Commodity Credit Corporation. What did let's see, this changed dramatically during the Trump administration when the discretionary authority was used to fund 28 billion in trade aid. So again, tell me, where's all this bad stuff they're talking about? See, the Trump administration proposed to close the loophole with a rule to increase program integrity and reduce fraud, waste, and abuse. The regulation was not finalized before the end of the Trump administration. Again, so let's go up. Let me see. I want to at least hit 200 because, as you can see, whatever it is that they are talking about, oh, Trump, this is his. It says whoever. So, here we go. Eligibility of religious entities for SBA loans. Current SBA regulations and SBA Form 1971 make certain religious entities ineligible to participate in several SBA loan programs. The Trump administration proposed a rule that would remove the provisions on the ground that they violate the First Amendment. Come on, y'all. This is telling you the things that he wanted to do right, that he was not allowed to do or did not get to do. Come on. What's wrong with y'all?